I don't know if you've had a chance to look back at the match yet this morning, but what are your kind of immediate thoughts in the aftermath of the game against New Zealand last night?
It's frustrating and disappointing. Obviously, they're a very good side, and they're always going to score tries. I suppose we can't give them access to those tries, which we did a little bit, unfortunately, with some of our play. I think they got field position and scored some tries with excellent skill and good attacking play. But at times, we'd a exit line out, which we kind of executed, got turned over at the ruck, and they scored pretty quickly. We've attack on their 22. Unfortunately, we put the ball down and they go the length of the field, and those kind of tries are the ones you can't give away against them. For sure, they're going to open you up at times, but those tries are frustrating. And then, in our own point of view, we were over the line a few times. Not to get those scores is tough. You need to take every single chance you can get. It was kind of similar to the Maori the other night in that we gave them a bit of a head start, and then when we had our chances to score, we just couldn't seem to get the ball on the ground. So it was a frustrating night all around.
So creating chances like you did last night, indeed during the week in Hamilton as well, but not scoring tries. I mean, what's that down to? Is it good defence, or do you have to do something different in terms of trying to get the ball actually physically onto the ground?
We probably have to do something a little bit different in terms of getting the ball onto the ground. Some of our attack has come from, getting that field position in there 10 metres from their line, or even 5 metres from their line. It's pretty heavy traffic then, and those are the ones where at times you can get held up because they can put a lot of people around the ball and under the ball. I think last night the penalty count was 10-7 to New Zealand up until the last 5 or 6 minutes, and the ref gives a few penalties then towards the end of the game. That gave us field position to, I suppose, have those kind of attacks where you have a good chance of getting over the line, but the chances of scoring are becoming less and less. It's getting very tricky in that part of the game because teams are getting good at getting under the ball and stopping you, and then it's a goal line dropout. You're not coming back to a 5 metre scrum like you used to back in the day. So it's been 2 games in a row where we've had that situation. It's been frustrating for us. Good for them defensively, probably gives them good belief. It's frustrating for us, but it's part of the game. The game is always evolving, and it's another part of the game we have to figure out.
What do you think the set piece has gone? Scrum and line out,
Yeah, it was poor last night. There's no doubt about it. From a scrum point of view, some of the interpretation is frustrating, but that's something we'll have to address and figure out. And then line-out wise, I think we 17 lineouts. We lost 4 of them, and another one we lost. We won, but lost it immediately on the ground. So effectively 5 lineouts, and 2 of them were actually really good lineouts. We just got our drill wrong a little bit, and 2 of them they've quite good defence for, which you expect against New Zealand. They've a very good kind of mirror lineout. Historically, they've been very good against us. So that was a frustrating part of the game. It's an important part of our game in terms of being able to play our game and maybe stop the opposition play as well. When we have the ball and they don't have it, it's good for us. So those parts of the game where we don't, I suppose, help another team into the game are parts of the game that we'll have to address.
You're going to concentrate on trying to get better yourselves this week, but the problem, unfortunately, is that New Zealand will use last night as a base camp, and they're going to be better as well.
Yeah, for sure. And that it's something we always say. They're going to score tries, they're going to make line breaks. We have to score as well. So one of the ways that we score is by being very tidy in how we go about our own business. And at times we weren't that last night. I know we finished with the penalty count at 14-10 or something like that, but up until the 70th minute it was 10-7, and one or two of those penalties, or maybe even more than that, are just penalties that we don't need to give away. I think some penalties in rugby are inevitable. There's nothing you can do about it. It's the nature of the game. But there's some penalties you can avoid giving away, and we didn't manage to do that. And when they get into your half or into your 22, they're just very effective. They've great speed, they've great power. They're very good in kind of unstructured play. Once the ball has been in play for 3 or 4 phases, they're very good. So we got to stop giving them those opportunities.
And just before I finish up, is there any sort of new player update? I know that the match is less than 24 hours old, but say Johnny Sexton, anybody from an injury point of view, any additional people injured? Are there any additional players coming?
Well, Johnny passed his HIA2 and he'll do his HIA3 in the next 24 hours. Dave Heffernan didn't even do a HIA, so he has a concussion confirmed, so he's going to be out certainly until the third test.
Okay, thanks, Paul.
Hi, Paul. Gary Doyle from the 42 here. Just one question. It was noticeable in the Six Nations how good the defence was. You only conceded 4 tries across 5 games. Last night they got 6. Is that down just to them being very good, or is there anything else that you can think of?
It's a bit of both for sure, and a lot of it isn't even down to defence. Funnily enough, a lot of it is down to giving away a penalty, which puts them in the position to attack you where they're lethal from. Some of it is down to not exiting from a line out and allowing them to attack you. So it's probably 3 ways. It's them being an excellent attacking side and generally managing to score points. It's us making maybe 1 or 2 defensive errors, but it's also us letting them into the game through some of our poorer play and some of our basics. Obviously we mentioned the scrum, we mentioned the line out, we mentioned the breakdown as well, and if we tidy those areas up, it's you won't get it all your own way in those areas against very good sides for sure, but we probably need to make a better fist of it than we did on yesterday.
And finally, sorry, why is results so harder to get away from home? Does it come down to decisions just not going your way that you would get at home, or does it come down to other factors?
Listen, I don't know fully what the answer is. I know that our boys really enjoy playing in the Aviva Stadium. They feel at home there. They enjoy the support there. We've done very well there recently, and we probably haven't been away from home as much as we should have in recent years. We haven't had as many of these experiences as we should have. When we played in Paris this year, it was a tough experience for us, but it was a different experience to what we've been used to. So for us, what we've had to put up with in terms of having to manage things being thrown at us over the last 2 weeks while touring away from home. It's everything we wanted from the tour. We're finding out a lot about ourselves as coaches. We're finding out a lot about ourselves as players. It's a real tough challenge. And then when you get to the ground, you get to a place like Gibson-Park, it's a real tough challenge as well. Obviously, they have a great record there historically. They want to protect that record. They want to perform well at home. New Zealand's last 2 games, they lost, to us and to France. We always knew they were going to be physically and mentally on point for the game, and it was going to be very tough in front of their home supporters. So, it is what it is, and we probably need to be better playing away from home, better than we have been in recent games.